Welcome back to episode 13 of the Sleepy podcast. Today I'm going to read an article on Wikipedia called Pushing Daisies. If there's a subject you want to hear me talk about, please leave it in the comments and I'll almost certainly get around to it. Pushing Daisies is an American comedy television series created by Bryan Fuller that aired on ABC from October 3rd, 2007 to June the 13th, 2009. The series stars Lee Pace as Ned, a pie maker with the ability to bring dead things back to life with his touch, an ability that comes with some stipulations. Together with his formerly deceased childhood crush Chuck, Anna Friel, private investigator Emerson Codd, Chi McBride, and co-worker Olive Snook, Kristen Chenoweth. Ned uses his abilities to solve murder cases. This also includes Ellen Green, Swayze Kurtz, and Field Kate. I'm sorry if I said any of those name wrongs, with Jim Dale acting as the director. Touted as a Forsnick fairy tale, the series is known for its unusual visual style, eccentric production design, and quirky characters, fast-paced dialogue, and grotesque situations. The series often uses wordplay, metaphor, and double entendre, while Jim Dale's narration is very similar to that of a fairy tale. The series received critical acclaim and won numerous awards. The series received 17 Primetime Emmy Award nominations with 7 wins, including Outstanding Direction for a Comedy Series to Barry Sonnenfeld, and Outstanding Supporting Actress to a Comedy Series for Kristen Chenoweth. TV Guide included the series in their 2013 list of 60 shows that were cancelled too soon. In 2015, Pushing Daisies was voted by Esquire's TV Reboot Tournament that fans asked for a vote on the show they'd most like to see a return of on television. Pushing Daisies centers on the life of Ned, a pie maker gifted with the ability to reanimate dead people by touching them. If something is revived for more than 1 minute, a similar life value in the vicinity drops dead as a form of balance. If he touches the revived person or thing a second time, they die permanently. As a child, he brings his mother back to life, and then she dies of an aneurysm. This causes the death of her and her father, of the neighbour, and the childhood sweetheart, Chuck Charles, played by Anna Friel. That night, Ned kisses his mother, falls dead permanently when she kisses him goodnight. Chuck's aunts, Vivian and Lily, move in to take care of her, and Ned is sent by his father to a boarding school, separating the children. Ned becomes a pie maker and opens up a restaurant called The Pie Hole. He is aided by waitress Olive Snook, who pines him the restaurant and is failing financially, when private investigator Emerson Codd accidentally discovers Ned Powers and offers a proposal. Ned will temporarily bring murder victims back to life, allowing Emerson to inquire about the circumstances of the death, quickly solve the case, and split the reward money with him. The scheme succeeds without issue until they learn that Chuck, whom Ned had not seen since childhood, was murdered. Ned revives her, but he cannot bring her himself to let her die permanently. Ned and Chuck fall in love again, and although they can never touch each other, she moves in with him. Chuck and Ned and Emerson investigating deaths for reward money, beginning with his own murder. Over the course of the series, Emerson searches for his missing daughter, who was taken away by his mother, a con woman. After meeting a publisher of pop-up books, he is inspired to create and publish his own pop-up book, hoping that his daughter will read the book and find her way back to him. Chuck struggles to keep the secret of her revival from Vivian and Lily, and Vivian and Lily slowly accept the death of their niece. I'm not going to read any further into the plot part, as it does now contain spoilers. Cast and characters. Lee Pace is Ned, often known as the Pie Maker, the owner of the Pie Hole restaurant who has been the power to bring dead people back to life. Anna Friel is Charlotte Chuck Charles, Ned's childhood sweetheart, murdered but brought back to life by Ned. I do apologise in advance if I mispronounce any names here. Chi McBride is Emerson Codd, a private investigator and Ned's business partner. Kristen Chenoweth is Olive Snook, the pie hole waitress who is obsessively and hopelessly in love with Ned. Ellen Green as Vivian Charles, Chuck's aunt. Swayze Kurtz is Lily Charles, Chuck's other aunt. Jim Dale is the narrator of the series, and Field Kate as young Ned, Season 2 recurring and Season 1 who appears in flashbacks. The recurring cast include Cy Richardson as the coroner, the man in charge of the morgue where most of the murder victims' bodies are stored. Sammy Hanratty as young Chuck, who appears in flashbacks. Stephen Root as Dwight Nixon, a mysterious man connected to both Ned's father and Chuck's father. David Arquette as Randy Mann, a taxidermist and client of the Pie Hole who is in love with Olive. Nicholas Kayat as Eugene Malin. I apologise, I can't say that. Ned's childhood friend who appears in flashbacks. Diana Scarwood as Mother Superior, in charge of the monastery where Olive spends the first episodes of Season 2. Leanna Nigan as the newscaster for Channel 9. Christine Adams as Simone Hundin, originally a murder suspect in Season 1 who becomes Emerson Codd's love interest. John Eric Price as George Hamilton, Ned's father. Ruel Esparza as Alfredo Aladizo, a travelling homeopathic antidepressant salesman. John Randall as Charles, Chuck's father. The character was portrayed by several actors in Season 1. Paul Rubens of Oscar Vibunis, I am terribly sorry for my pronunciations, a murder suspect with an incredible sense of smell. Brad Grunberg as Lawrence and Louis Schatz, the man in charge of Chuck's funeral and his twin brother. Alex Miller and Graham Miller as Maurice Ralston, Ned's twin half-brothers. Mark Raducki as Diana Costa, Olive's parents in flashbacks. Production. The series was greenlit and given a 13-episode order by ABC on May the 11th, 2007. On October 23rd, 2007, the show received a full season order. However, scripts for 9 episodes were completed before the start of the 2007-2008 Writers Guild of America strike. Bryan Fuller reportedly made last-minute changes to the 9th episode to allow it to serve as the season finale, adjusting the episode to be a cliffhanger. Because of the Writers Guild strike, the show completed just 9 episodes of a 22-episode season. Instead of attempting to complete the first season, the writers planned to begin on the second season, with production resuming around March to June 2008. Although picked up by ABC, Pushing Daisies for the 2008-2009 television season, when ratings quickly declined, ABC opted not to order additional episodes beyond the season's initial 13. By November the 20th, 2008, creator Bryan Fuller had confirmed that Pushing Daisies had been cancelled by ABC, and expressed the possibility of wrapping up lingering plot lines in a comic book or movie sequel. The last scheduled episode was broadcast in the United States on December 17th, 2008, leaving 3 episodes unaired, although those episodes were screened at the 2009 Paley Fest. ABC was negotiating at one time to forfeit broadcasting rights to the shows and make the unaired episodes available exclusively online, but announced on April 3, 2009 that the final 3 episodes would be broadcast on ABC Saturdays at 10 p.m, beginning May the 30th. According to Chenoweth, these episodes did not provide a narrative conclusion to the series. The final 3 episodes on ABC were successive on Saturdays at 10 p.m. from Saturday, May 30th, 2009, and June 13th, 2009, having aired elsewhere around the world. In India, the last episode aired on February 27th, 2009 as a world premiere. In Germany, the television network ProSieben showed the last 3 episodes of Pushing Daisies on 4th of March 2009, March the 11th, 2009. The 3 remaining unaired episodes were broadcast in the UK's ITV and announced showing the complete season in its rerun. The original concept of Pushing Daisies was rooted from Dead Like Me. The show's creator, Bryan Fuller, intended for Pushing Daisies to be sort of a spin-off of Dead Like Me. Visual design. Production designer Michael Weil told the TV Guide that, "My goal was a storybook come to life. I wanted everything to look almost like an illustration." He achieved this by concentrating on conflicting patterns in different colours, particularly reds and oranges, but per director Barry Sonnenfeld's visually no blues. Cinematographer Michael Weaver told Variety, that the producers decided that visuals should feel somewhere between Amelie and a Tim Burton film, something big, bright, and bigger than life. The distinctive storybook-esque style is continued within the overall design of the visual aspects. Circular background shapes and circular windows and framing shots within circles was a theme seen consistently throughout the series. Symmetry is a common theme used in the visual styles, and characters are often framed in windows, doors, or background props. A heavy use of patterns within a location was often used, where a similar would also be used for an entire location. The wallpaper, window blinds, bed sheets, pillows, furniture, and even clothing, such as Olive's apartment. The series would often use top-down perspective in order to use shots that would showcase its overall visual style. Regardless of the fact that the show focused on murder investigations, the morgue is painted in candy cane stripes, and many outfits worn by characters are often vibrantly coloured, bright and cheery. For example, Olive's work uniforms alternate between bright orange and lime green, pinstripe dresses. Emma's is often seen wearing shades of purple. Only Ned continuously wears black. CGI is prominent in the series, with much of the blue screen technology, the shop windows, similar set pieces, and outdoor scenery outside as a cast of blue halo tingle, and the 3D set extensions. The use of matte painting backdrops are used to complete the look. Automobiles are often mint-condition vintage vehicles, though some newer vehicles were used, such as a mid-1990s Chevrolet Lumina APV minivan, a Hummer, or a 2006 Toyota Prius. Emerson drives a mid-1960s Lincoln Continental with suicide doors in new condition. Ned is seen driving an old, like-new Mercedes-Benz W108. Other characters drive decades-old vehicles as well, a 1959 Cadillac Miller Moteur. Cars and ambulances and hearse configurations figure frequently. Old-fashioned trolley cars have been seen in several shots panning into the high hole. Quirkiness. Critics noticed that Pushing Daisies' distinctive visual style. A New York Times critic described it as candy-coloured computer-generated scenery, and other describes as technicolor world that seems to exist on right angles on our own, and note the bizarre dialogue and use of alternative and near-duplicated names of both characters, such as Dundee Duffield, Billy Balsam and the Darling Mermaid Darlings, Charles and Charlotte Charles, John Joseph Jacobs, and locations: boutique travel boutique, Uber life insurance, and Codicare, etc. Some narrations is done in a poetic style of Dr. Seuss. Music. The show contains original music composed and arranged by Jim Dooley. The first 6 minutes of the series pilot were composed by Blake Neely. Dooley describes the musical score as having an Amelie-type sound, which is a wide-angled adult fairy tale with a narrator and super real world. It was announced on Jim Dooley's website that the soundtrack of the first season was going to be originally released by Vasti Sarabande on the 31st of October 2008, but was delayed until the 23rd of December 2008, with the album on the iTunes Store on December the 10th, 2008. A soundtrack for the second season was released on April 5th, 2011, also composed by Jim Dooley. Both Christian Chenoweth and Ellen Greene have backgrounds in musical theatre and have performed musical numbers in some episodes. In Dummy, Chenoweth sang Hopelessly Devoted to You from the musical Grease. In Pigeon, Chenoweth and Greene harmonised on the They Might Be Giants hit, Birdhouse in Your Soul. Also in The Smell of Success, Greene sang Morning Has Broken. Chenoweth asked to sing Eternal Flame in an episode, which Bryan Fuller agreed to accommodate. The song was sung in Comfort Food. She performed a cover of Lionel Richie's Hello in Widowed Dressed to Kill. Series continuation. The show's official website included a comic book that was distributed at the 2007 San Diego Comic-Con International, with new mysteries and background information not seen on the televised episodes. The book also contains recaps of aired episodes. When the show struggled in the ratings during its second season, Bryan Fuller said that should ABC not pick up additional episodes, he wanted to release comic books and maybe a movie based on the show to wrap outstanding stories for fans. Warner Bros. Gave Fuller permission to produce a comic book of the series. Fuller stated that the third season comic book series would be 12 issues long. On September the 23rd, 2010, Entertainment Weekly reported that the first issue of Season 3 was expected in early 2011. Further, Fuller stated that he and the show's composer Jim Dooley had talked about giving the audience a multimedia experience with Pushing Daisies, a comic book soundtrack. to be released officially or streamed for free online when the comic book was published. Fuller stated that Dooley had started composing musical cues and that the cast had agreed to sing on the soundtrack, though licensing fees for the actors had prevented such performances from being concluded. In late 2010, DC Comics shut down its Wildstorm imprint. On April 23, 2011, Fuller confirmed that the release of the comic had been postponed by the loss of its publisher. At the same time, Fuller released the first page of the uncoloured version of the comic book. Miniseries/film. On April 1, 2011, at WonderCon in San Francisco, Bryan Fuller was quoted by saying, "I'm really emboldened by what Starz is doing with Torchwood, and I would love to do a Pushing Daisies miniseries on Starz," said Fuller. "This would be a great way to wrap up the show properly, do 6 great episodes, or even a Pushing Daisies movie. But I kind of like the idea of a Starz miniseries, since they really embraced Torchwood." For those in the audience who haven't watched Torchwood, it is well worth a watch, it is brilliant. After the success on Kickstarter for raising money for a Verona Arcs movie on March 2013, Veronica Mars creator Rob Thomas said that Bryan Fuller approached him to talk about how this thing works in relation to continuing Pushing Daisies. Fuller later commented that a Kickstarter campaign would be hard for Pushing Daisies due to budget differences. He said that $12 to $15 million would be required. In the wake of Roseanne Barr's dismissal from the ABC network, in May 2018, Fuller pitched the Pushing Daisies revival on Twitter to take the spot left by a now-cancelled Rosaline on its schedule. Broadway musical. On July 16, 2012, when asked about the potential stage adaptation of the show by TV lineup's Michael Estrello, Fuller responded, "Perhaps," and continued with, "I can't really say until it's confirmed, but perhaps. We're working on something that is definitely a Pushing Daisies revival, and the idea would be to have many cast members as we can to participate in it." In February 2014, Fuller revealed that he had discussions with Warner Bros. Studios and director Benny Sonnenfeld on reviving the series for either a film or a Broadway musical starring Christian Schiller. Syndication. Pushing Daisies premiered in syndication on Chiller on March 5, 2013. In 2015, Pushing Daisies was added to the CW streaming service CW Seed. The CW partly owned by Warner Bros., who owns the distribution rights. Pushing Daisies became available to stream on HBO Max on January 2021.